Well, got some great news, guys, and it looks like crypto is really starting to move for now. It's still a trader's mark by all means, but I'm feeling more confident that every day goes by that we are seeing significant support come in to the market. Not just Bitcoin, guys, but Ethereum and a bunch of other alts. So in this video, I'm going to go through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of altcoins that I think are very, very strong and some to stay away from. Remember, guys, it's trading. Every day tells us a bit of a different story, but we've had consecutive days up, so I'm feeling a bit more confident now uploading this video saying that all signs are pointing to us continuing to go up. Let's have a look at Bitcoin still, because we still have to start with Bitcoin. Now, when I did my last video about Bitcoin looking pretty good, it meant that all of that fear got gobbled up and brought back up. And we've had that a few times now. Bitcoin has had to test a lot of times. So you're seeing that test come from the 30th of June, and you just see the amount of selling happen in the market before closing strong. Then we had a massive upthrust where basically the price tried to reach higher, rejected at the 75 mark before coming back down. The good news is that this low held. We did not break the low on the 1st of July, which had me very hopeful that this was going to be a sustained move to the upside. Then we never broke it again. We tested a second time on the 2nd of July, 3rd of July, a slight test slightly below those, but we did not drop that significant lower from the 30th of June. That 30th of June is very, very crucial that we hold on to it, because those are our support areas. This low from the 18th of June, this low from the 19th of June, and this low from the 30th of June are major support areas coming in at around 17.5K, 18K call it, and about 18.5K, just give or take a few hundred each way. Those are significant support areas for Bitcoin to hold up. And we did. So it endured heavy sell-off days, and then the price started to go up on increasing volume. You can see the volume is actually increasing now. And the thing that amazes me about this chart is the fact that Bitcoin was able to survive the selling. You can see the price got bought back up. We closed above our 50%. We actually dipped below our 50% before closing back up again immediately. The next day on the 6th of July, we test this 50% perfectly and bounce back up. Hopefully this time we're able to push through the 75 mark. That will coincide with another resistance area coming on the 1st of July at around that 21K. So again, you're seeing Bitcoin very, very clearly have higher lows. You're seeing Bitcoin test the 50%. You're seeing all that selling coming into the market and pushing back the price up. So these are very, very good signs that there is accumulation happening. And I knew accumulation was happening because if you look at a lot of other YouTubers, just finance YouTubers, not so much crypto YouTubers, but you're already seeing them talk about how dreary the economy is, and they're getting heaps of views. Everyone is so scared right now. They're clicking on YouTube videos talking about how bad the economy is because they want to see how scary it's going to be, how much longer it's going to be, while they don't really know that the whales are actually accumulating, and you can see it pretty clearly on a chart. What we're waiting for is Bitcoin to have at least one more test, or maybe even two more tests at around that 17.5K, just to see if the market can take it. For now, though, 17.5K will be the low for the time being, but I think it would be very, very healthy to test this mark again just to see if there's any weak hands left, because for now, it looks like they've all been sold off and we're time for higher price. So let's move on to ETH, the king of the alts. You're seeing ETH look actually a little bit stronger than Bitcoin in the sense that it had those heavy sell-off days, not as heavy as Bitcoin, but it just came back from it a lot stronger. So again, 30th of June, heavy sell-off day, closed beneath the 50% open, tries to poke its head above the 50% on the 1st of July. It doesn't close as weak, but notice how we're not testing these zones, right? We're still getting those higher lows, and these support areas are becoming higher and higher and higher. So it's very, very crucial that Ethereum doesn't break it. That support comes in at around an even $1,000 here from the 30th of June. We go again, poke our head above the 50%, rejected a second time, rejected a third time, and then we finally go up on high volume, break the trend, and then we get another test on the 50% before closing and immediately going back up higher, sitting on the 75 mark at the moment. So ETH is looking fantastic for now. And again, what you're noticing here is that the volume is actually starting to increase a little bit here on the side. So what happens with Ethereum, we'll have a trickle down to the altcoins. But before we get to the alts, just to have a quick look at BTC dominance and USDT dominance, because they're very, very important to look at. You can see Bitcoin has had a very, very tough time at capturing more than 44% of the market complete total share. You can see rejected perfectly at the 50%, again, pretty much perfectly on the 1st of July, bouncing its head and just wasn't able to get there and just hovering around this area for now, which is really, really good for the altcoins. But let's have a look at USDT to confirm that. And this is my chart with USDT. You can see again, this was your week to buy some altcoins, make some profits from them. And then we had the time to start going short in the market before we start to fail at the trend, get back down, close underneath the 50, poke our head above the 50, rejection at the trend again, and again rejection at the 50. It's time to get lower because all signs point to USDT dominance going down. Remember, if USDT dominance is down, they're flowing into alts. Very, very good, and to see that as well. Pretty soon I'll have to start putting up the USDC coin because that looks like it's ready to take over USDT, but that's a story for another day. Let's have a look at total market cap 2, which is really, really important because that's all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin. So you can see here, very, very nice, healthy. There's your volume, picked it back up, bouncing on the 50% before breaking through. There's your test on the 50, not once, but twice. And again, time for higher highs. So now we've got all that solidified. What are some really good altcoins to get? My favorite one, and I'm going to tap myself on the shoulder here and say, okay, I did a very, very good job at calling this one in my last video, and that is actually ARWEAVE. ARWEAVE has done a fantastic job. And what captured me about ARWEAVE was this day on the 30th of June when we just closed really, really strong. You can see how big these volume bars are. Massive, big volume bars. That's what you want to see. A nice, good breakout. That means buyers really came to support the price for this project or this crypto at this price point. And it was a very, very attractive buy. Not the best because it closed slightly underneath the 50%, but you saw immediately the next day, even higher volume. And this time we get our break above the 50%. We test the 50% beautifully on the 2nd of July. You can see right there before bouncing off and going higher high. And that is a pretty clear uptrend that you can see. Now, the key thing about ARWEAVE is notice how we're just hovering around this high area. A lot of altcoins are not doing that. A lot of altcoins have either been rejected at around their 1 mark, of course, coming back down and sort of, hovering somewhere around the 75 mark. But you can see ARWEAVE is actually hanging around that high that it put in at about $12.50 on the 5th of July. Heavy sell-offs are coming on the 5th of July. So you saw a reasonably average bar for volume, but you can still see it still closed reasonably well on the bar around mid. Then the next day you get even lower volume, which is here, and it closes relatively low on the bar, but the next day it becomes support. It's very important that we don't break that 75 mark because that comes from support on the 4th and the 5th of July. But what I, again, love about ARWEAVE is that it's just hovering around that 1 mark, looking like it's ready for a bigger move. If we have a look into the hourly, you can see some heavy volumes coming in just in the past 24 hours alone. And it's really respecting this 100-hour moving average, bouncing off it several times. So again, look for ARWEAVE to potentially start really putting in bigger gains, more so than the majority of other altcoins, because it's just hovering at a higher area and it's really pulled away from that low from the 18th of July more so, and has the volume to back it up. And you're seeing not many people are selling. So ARWEAVE is definitely my favorite crypto for now. Stop losses definitely always in place. I wouldn't want to see ARWEAVE breaking that low or this trend line at around $10.85, give or take. Again, this was in my video, but I talked about SAND being in a really good position. You can see SAND was doing fantastic, broke past its 50%, hovered there just for a little bit of time before ultimately breaking down on high good volume on the 4th of July, put in the higher gain, again, tested it. It did not become a reversal, so we didn't take all the gains away. And you can see again on the 5th of July, much like Bitcoin, much like Ethereum, much like a lot of cryptos, you saw a heavy sell-off, which is your indicator of the bar going down, but the bar poking its head on the right means the close. So all that fear got gobbled up, pushed back up. Guess what? It's time for higher highs. We poked our head above the trend, tested the trend almost perfectly, and now it's time for higher prices. Look for the 1 mark to become resistance at around that $1.35. So hopefully, because crypto has had a really, really, really tough time at breaking these higher highs, this will be our second attempt at it. So hopefully SAND can start putting in bigger gains, and it's actually one of the best charts I've seen. If we have a look at Farm, this is another crypto that has looked pretty damn good. We've got some pretty high volume on the 16th of June. We've got another high volume bar on the 25th of June and another high volume bar on the 30th of June. And I mean, hopefully you can see that doesn't take much to see. That is a uptrend. You can see the higher highs perfectly finding support on the trend line numerous times, time and time again. And you're just seeing a lot of up thrusts. So you're seeing the price go up before closing back down. Price go up before closing back down. Price goes up before closing back down. It's not that bad because it shows that there's volume, there's energy in this market. And while a lot of cryptos have been going sideways and falling a little bit, Farm has actually just been consistently going up, which amazes me considering the market cap of this coin. There's your test on the 50% beautifully on it there, right there at $43.10. You can see it there, and look for Farm to start increasing on very, very good volume. And what I love about it is the swings have a lot of volatility to them. So your profits can be quite good, anywhere between 20% at the 75 mark, or if you want to go to the 1 mark and hopefully for a double top to play out, that's 40%. Maybe we'll break the 1 mark, we'll have to wait and see, but very good higher highs. It's shown clearly on a chart. And that's what I look for when I look for a chart. I say to myself, how easily can I read this? If I have to look at a lot of things and I'm uncertain, there's plenty of other cryptos to choose from. I just choose the one that I know that I'm going to be more often right than wrong. That's what I look for more so than anything else. And then I look for everything else later. But I look for how sure am I right about this going up or down? Do I want to short it, or do I want to long it, and do I want to use leverage? That's basically the first things I start to look at before I decide to plot my money on a crypto. Another big shout out to FANTOM as well. This is another crypto that has had a very, very difficult 2022. It was looking so good at the second half of the bull run in 2021. But there we are. Here we are sitting at 23 cents per FANTOM. And well, I mean, hopefully it's time for higher prices. There's your down range, breaking all the gains from this one. Again, not the highest volume you can see here, but what we're hoping for now is a bit of higher highs to start. It's a very low risk play because this is bouncing on its 50% quite a bit and actually respecting it quite a bit. And your stop loss from where it is now is only about 10% or so, considering your move for an up at around the 75 mark, maybe about an 8% increase. Or if you want to go for the double top again, or the triple top in this case, it'd be around 20% extra gain. So Phantom is looking pretty good. And again, a big shout out to Render. This one has actually held up very, very well. You can see how many times we have found support at the 50%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. We have just really respected this 50% golden line. You can see how much I love it. And that's what, again, you look for. You look for one of those low risk plays where you can consistently make profits from. Stop loss, 7%, 10% from where the red line is. Should that be your entry? If it bounces back from there, but you can see Render has actually done very, very well to hold up. The only problem I want to see with Render is I want to see the volume come back a little bit more into the market. The last high volume we had was on the 28th of June, and you can see the volume has really just started to dry up a little bit on this one. So the volume needs to pick up, and we need a bit of a breakout outside of these trend lines, and hopefully we can start making our way to that one mark at around that 70 cents, and that would be a very, very nice, healthy, 34% increase from where it currently is. Again, it's all probability. We don't know what's going to happen, so always be vigilant about what's going to happen. Speaking about what's going to happen, you can go on this website, CryptoCraft, and basically it will show you all the news that will affect crypto given the calendar. So at the moment, we are on the 7th of July. So we have the meeting from the Federal Opening Market Committee. You can see here on the 7th of July. And then we also have some unemployment rate and economic data coming in there. And you can also move this date to the next couple of days, and you'll be able to see that there are some more announcements coming next week that will definitely affect crypto in terms of its price, depending on how the market perceives the information to be. So you got CPI data, that will be a very, very heavy indicator to how the market's going to go. And that's why I always say have your stop losses in place, because the market is going to price a lot of these things in before they happen. And you don't want to wait for the date, because by then you're too late. So you want to start having your stop losses in place should the market react negatively to it or anticipate more negative announcements before they happen. So it's a great website to use. I wouldn't lean on it too much. Don't look at announcements too much, but it can just give you a little bit of an idea when to take profits. If you're satisfied, maybe start moving up your stop losses, because like I said, we live in a very sensitive time with the news, and any piece of information that comes out from Jerome Powell will definitely have an effect on crypto and a lot of asset classes. So should you feel satisfied with your profits, maybe you're risking too much on the table, you might want to start moving in your stop losses around these dates, because they could get hit a little bit harder depending on how, again, the whales react to it. The last thing I want to say before I finish off this video is, if you're looking at a chart and you look at charts, a very important thing you can do is actually look at total market cap 2 or total market cap 3. Generally, I prefer total market cap 2. Now, if your crypto does not look like that on a chart, you probably have a crap crypto. So you want to be aware of that. So this is a benchmark method that you can use for all your other altcoins, because total market cap 2 includes all of the altcoins. So it's very, very important that your crypto looks at least as good as this. If it does not look as good as that in terms of the movement and the range, then you probably have a crap crypto, especially if you're using fib tools or any Bollinger Bands or anything like that. If your crypto is bleeding and getting rejected at the 50, then you probably got a bad crypto and you should be aware of it. What are some of the bad cryptos? Let's go over them very, very quickly. First one up is ZILIQA. This one's had a very, very tough time getting above its 50%, and I've really shorted this one a few times and made a fair bit of money from it because it just keeps getting rejected at its 50. You saw total market cap 2. Total market cap 2 was above its 50%. You're looking at ZILIQA below its 50%, facing a lot of rejections. Stay away. Now, maybe tomorrow you get your breakout and it shoots right past it and it looks really strong, but we don't have that information. We can only trade ZILIQA today with today's information. We don't know what the price is going to be tomorrow. For now, it looks weak and we have to respect that. So stay away from ZILIQA. Another one is Cardano ADA. This one's had another tough time breaking above its 50%. You can see multiple rejections there. Looks like we're going to have another test. We'll see if we get past it or not. But this is a crypto that's looked very, very weak lately, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But for now, it's a no buy zone. And the last one up is CHAINLINK. You can see it rejected multiple times at its 50%. We're starting to finally poke our head above it. So hopefully we can close the next 13 hours and 40 minutes. And we can poke our head above it. But these are just some of the weaker ones that are getting rejected the 50% or finally making its way above the 50%. So it comes down to your risk tolerance. But you're starting to see some of the late movers start to show who they are and what they are. This is what I mean by you can't pick a crypto now and think what it's going to be good in the bull run. You just don't know. These things have very cyclical components and you have to take it as it comes and then use your best judgment at the time to forecast it, which is incredibly difficult to do with financial data. That's going to do it for my spiel today. I hope it helped. Things are definitely looking good, but always have your stop losses in place. because like I said, I do think we'll test that 17K at least 1 or 2 more times this year, just to really flush out any more of those weak hands. And I think it's a very healthy test should we get to it again. That's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped. If you enjoyed it, smash the subscribe button, give me a like, help me during this bear market period. But until then, everyone, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next video.